Hello, this is Carrie Rigo here to talk to you today about why you should be on Twitter. My clients ask me all the time, Carrie, why do I need to be on Twitter? And I say you don't. Twitter's like a cocktail party. There's a lot of people there, they're talking, there's a lot of conversations. What I recommend people do is to go into that party and listen. If there are conversations of interest, participate. If you shouldn't be at the party, you don't have time to be at the party, or it's the wrong venue for you, then you don't need to be there. What I use Twitter for is a personalized newspaper. I like to follow people like my local newspaper, local reporters, the New York Times, CNN, Time Magazine, major newspapers in large cities. This way I get all of the news up to date on my phone. I happen to use an iPhone, and the only app I have ever paid for was Twitterator. That's the one that I choose to use. The reason is that I read my whole stream. I keep my follower list to about 300 people. I think I have 301 right now. There are close to 600 people following me. I follow that amount of people because that's as much as I can handle. I want to read my stream. That's what I choose to do. Not everybody can do that. But I use it as a news source. I use it as a way to understand what's going on in the community around me, staying in touch with my friends, though not many of my real life friends are on Twitter. But for me, it's about quality, not about quantity. Everybody uses Twitter differently, but I like to listen and learn, and that's what I do much of on Twitter. So if you're interesting, if you're funny, if you are a subject of business that I'm interested in, then I'm going to listen to you. And if the knowledge that you have isn't something I need to know anymore, I stop listening. It's not necessarily personal, but you can choose to listen or not listen. So what I spend much of my time doing after reading is that I retweet, which is the equivalent of forwarding by email. I retweet something of interest or that is supporting to my community. I'm a big community cheerleader. If you tell me there's a museum event, a charity event, a school event, anything that has to do with my community that I think my followers would be interested in, I send that back out again. That creates community goodwill. It creates a sense of community. People can rely on me that they know if they have something important, they can send it to me and I will send it back out again. So I also email myself links to read later. Because I read my whole stream, it's impossible for me to read every single link as I come across it. So I email myself things and they sit in my inbox for when I'm ready. A few times a day I'll spend 5 to 10 minutes going through my email box and reading things that I've saved for myself. Sometimes I email them to myself to send to somebody else at another time or on another social media platform. Through the iPhone, it is difficult to copy and paste a whole tweet and email it or post it, so I send it to my email box and I do it when I have the time. The one thing that Twitter is not, that many people and businesses do not understand, it's not a place to make the sale. Because Twitter's a cocktail party, right? You don't walk into that party and hand out your business card to people and say, buy from me, and then disappear. The whole point of going to that party is to meet people, to learn about them, to have conversations, to listen. If you can't do those things, then maybe Twitter isn't the right place for you. If you want to just have a one-way conversation, which isn't in fact a conversation, if you want to have a one-way advertising blast, Twitter is not going to be effective for you. The return on investment, or the ROI on Twitter, is unclear as of now. There are many businesses that have made it successful for them, but what Twitter really does is it allows you to be creative and learn ways to get your message out so that it isn't all about buy from me. It's adding value to your environment and your community, sharing information that isn't necessarily from your blog or your website or your coupon or your special, but about subject matter that relates to what you do and who you are. Because I found that in this day and age, it must be of value. If it's not, why do it?